11-minute webinar. We know how hard it is to deal with hour-long webinars. So what we're going to do is try to get through our content in about 11 minutes. And then we'll have a Q&A spot at the end. And then anybody who wants me to take a look at your website and give you kind of a free website review, I'm happy to do that. You can all see my screen. So our topic today is the 5 reasons your website messaging sucks and how to fix it. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Tom Alesic. I'm president of EZMarketing, and we help small business owners grow their businesses. And we've been doing that for 23 years now. And we did some math, and we've helped over 2,000 small businesses since we started. So that's pretty cool. So, obviously you go to websites all the time, everybody does, and you frequently come across copy that looks just like this, right? It completely sucks. It says nothing about them, and it makes you just kind of want to go to sleep, right? The Acme Company is a family-owned and operated business serving the greater metro area since 1975. Like, boring, 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 boring. So we're going to address the 5 common website messaging mistakes and how to fix them. So point number 1 is their website is all about you, right? It's not all about you. So this is the common thing that people think, right? They say, well, it's my website and I have to tell them everything about me. And at the end of the day, it's like not about you, it's about your customer and kind of how you solve their problems. So we want you to just stop talking about yourself and start to put your customer first. So the question is, great, how do I do that, right? That's always the nice thing. People say, oh, well, your messaging, it's terrible. Great. Well, how do I fix it? So we like to use this standard format that we call problem, agitation, solution. And what that means is the first thing that you have to do is you have to really articulate what the problem your customer has is. And then you have to talk about the problem in a way that they read it and they're starting to get agitated, which is what we mean by agitation, right? You kind of really dig into the problem and say, well, why do you have this problem? What's so frustrating about this problem? And then, of course, since they're coming to your website and you're trying to sell them, your answer, you are clearly the solution, but you have to share the solution in a way that you paint the picture of what life will look like after they become a customer of yours. So obviously we try to eat our own dog food, right? So the problem that we perceive in the market is that people just think marketing's hard, right? And it's frustrating, right? So our headline is, marketing doesn't have to be that difficult. And are you frustrated, right, with your website design agency? And obviously website design agency is actually there for SEO purposes, but we're still getting everything else in there, right? And as we agitate the problem, right, we will say stuff like, as a small business owner, you struggle with, what marketing should you be doing? And then how on earth are you going to get to do it? And you're wearing a million hats and you don't have time for this. And so the solution is we make it easy for you because we do everything for you. We can be that consultant, or, we'll just do your Facebook posting so you don't, so that you don't have to worry about it. Right. So so when you write copy, even if it's just an email that you're trying to send out, right, any kind of copy really should follow this problem, agitation, solution kind of method. All right. Our point number 2 in why your website copy sucks is that you're just confusing people, right? So we know that if people visit your website, you've got like a fraction of a second to get their attention and for them to go, oh, I'm at the right spot. Otherwise, like, what do, right? They hit the back button, go to the next item in the Google search and go to your competitor's website. And we don't want them to do that. So we have to reduce the amount of confusion that you have. So this is our client, the National Association of Watching Clock Collectors, and this was their website beforehand. Really confusing. I don't know about you, but up until they became a customer, I never heard the word horology. In fact, I would not have come up with that. It's the study of timepieces. Right. So we don't want to confuse them. So the way to fix this, we talked about this a little bit on our last webinar, is at the very top of the screen, right before anybody scrolls, we need to answer 3 questions, right? What do you do? How can you help me? what do you want me to do, right? And we need to be as clear and concise as we possibly can, right? So this is the new version of their site, right? So the what do you do? We educate the world in the art and science of timekeeping. Okay, that's what they do. How can you help me? Well, we have this crazy awesome museum, and honestly, if you haven't been to this museum, like, you have to go. It's really amazing, right? They have North America's largest selection of timepieces, and they have the world's largest research library on timepieces. So then what do you want me to do? I want you to visit the museum, or I want you to join, right? So we got all that right before you scrolled the page. So that's, be clear and concise. Don't confuse them. All right. Point number 3 is that your website copy has to pass the so what test, right? And if you've taken business classes, you've probably heard the WIFM theory, which is what's in it for them, right? So the more we can talk about how you help customers, right, which is also part of that problem agitation solution, right? But in that theory, we want to not use fluffy kind of let's call it BS kind of copy, right? It's just general platitudes like we have great customer service, we use quality products, that kind of stuff. And then we also just don't want to list a lot of technical details. Now, if you do have a section of your site that you have to explain some of the technical stuff, that's fine, but that can't be the main copy, right? That you have, right? We want to change that, right? So how we fix that is we want them to visualize what it looks like after you've solved their problems. And we want to use benefits versus features. So this is our customer, Hostler's Homescapes, and they have a section that's all about outdoor structures, outdoor kitchens, that kind of stuff. So the visualize part of it is, it's, your ideal environment for gathering your family and friends. And this has become your backyard oasis, right? Like, who doesn't want to like go in their backyard and relax and spend time with their friends, right? So the benefit is that, you can make that outdoor space more inviting, and it's going to inspire you to stay home, especially now, with COVID, we're all at home anyway. We might as well enjoy our backyards a little more because we're not doing a tremendous amount of traveling, right? Versus the other way, he could just list every technical spec. He could tell you what kind of wood, what kind of shingles, their 30-year warranty, right? Like, we could bombard you with technical details, but that's not what's gonna sell. All right, point number 4 is that it's hard to read your website. And so what we don't want is, we don't want long, boring copy blocks. I don't want you to use a lot of technical jargon that nobody understands, or that your audience doesn't understand. And we don't want it to sound like you're writing your doctoral dissertation, right? So website copywriting or sales copywriting is not very technical in nature, right? It's much more focused on benefits. All right, so here's an example of really long, boring copy. No, this isn't one of our customers. We stole this from somebody else in Colorado Springs. So just, kind of gives you an idea of just boring copy that doesn't really say anything. All right, so the way we fix that is that we try to write impactful headlines. So the example we have, on the screen is, when it's time to close the deal on your next investment property, we can provide the money that you need. So that's what their customer's looking for, right? They're not looking to do business with a bank. They need kind of like a short-term, quick in and out kind of loan. So then we can, after headlines, right, we can write short sentences, right? And we want them to be kind of active sentences. We want to highlight, you could highlight important words, right? So we have kind of like subheads on the side there. You could use bullet lists. Obviously, we want you to avoid jargon, and cut the fluffy stuff that nobody really cares about. Number 5 is that we're just not telling them what to do next. So like I know like oftentimes like you look at your site and you say, well, it's obvious what I want them to do next, but really in most cases it's not. We have to be super direct with people on websites, or for whatever reason, like they just don't read your mind and they don't take that next step. So I like to think of it in terms of like the easier you make it for your customer to do business with you, the better results you're going to have from your website and really all your marketing, right? It's the don't make them think so much. And actually, just the concept in your business overall, the easier you are to do business with, the faster you're going to grow. So tell them what to do next, right? So how do we fix this? So we're going to use really clear, strong call to action, right? Things like, so our client, HomeRight, it's start a project now, schedule a meeting, and we're saying that same thing in multiple spots, even to the point of telling them how they work with us, right? So you choose a window, we do a walkthrough, then we schedule the installation. Now, we all know there's like probably 100 steps that go under those 3 steps, but the easier you make it appear of that you've got a simple process, right? That they know how they're going to do business with you. And if we can really articulate that well on the website, that's going to really help. And don't be afraid to kind of repeat the call to action a couple times on the same page. Sometimes people, they're they're scrolling fast and they miss it. So definitely repeat it as many times as you can. So if you'd like, you can go to our website and you can download our free buyer's guide. This is actually the call to action on our website. But you know what, Kelly's just gonna send it to you anyway, so you don't have to worry so much about downloading it. But we put it together so that people could really learn about what makes an effective website and how do you evaluate one website provider from another, right? Because they all have, just like in your business, everybody's a little different and has a little different philosophy. And one of the philosophies that we really focus on is how do we get the best possible results from you, not just build a pretty website.